Transmitting from the Mojave Wilderness in Joshua Tree, California. Now is the time for Desert Oracle Radio, the voice of the desert.
Night has fallen on the desert on this first week after summer solstice. But it's that sort of nighttime when it stays pretty hot. Been sort of hazy and half cloudy these last weeks of official spring, pretty warm out, and also a lot more humidity than we're used to. That usually comes later in summer, the monsoon season. But solstice is our measuring stick for the calendar year out here and everywhere else, so it's officially summer now. The true beginning of summer in the American desert, the lower elevations and lower latitudes in particular, starts in the springtime. Some places, like Borrego Springs in mid-February, it's already summertime when it's still winter for the people up north. Like the Yankees up in the Northeast, or even the people in the High Sierra, who are often snowed in for another several months. They're just going crazy up there. Like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, bouncing his baseball off the wall. Like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape. Hoping the snowplows break through Tioga Pass before the real craziness begins. Donner party time. I was up at the Ahwahnee Hotel once when they were getting ready for their big Christmas pageant. A beautiful event, a formal party like they used to hold up there a century ago. And I said to one of the decorators, "You ever do a Donner Party theme?" And the guy hissed at me like a snake, like a Gila monster. That's a strange way to act around a paying guest. I was even wearing a suit and tie, had my hair combed and everything. Anyway, we were talking about summertime, weren't we? Because that's what it is, official or otherwise. And now that we've reached that part of the year, the halfway point, midsummer, those of us who, for whatever reason, are pretty much stuck in the desert even after the tourist and the stagecoach performers go back home, well, our desert stories get a little grimier, a little weirder. They are less about wild adventures, beautiful sights and inspiration, and strange phenomena. And they're more about just trying to survive, just trying to get through the day, get through the week, the month. Like my rock squirrels out back who just come to my patio doors and glare inside when their water bowl is empty. They have little hands, as you know, and they shield their eyes with their little hands to block the sun's glare on the glass. I could take a video of exactly that, the rock squirrel looking inside with its little squirrel hands blocking the glare, put that thing on TikTok, and it would have 1 trillion views. I'd be the world's second trillionaire, just like that. But I don't want to. exploit the squirrel that way. Plus, I know in my heart that as soon as I picked up the phone and aimed it at the patio glass door, that squirrel would vanish in a puff of smoke. And the smoke wouldn't show up in the picture either. So why even try? Why live that way? Always trying to prove it. See, I told you that squirrel salutes me. And even if I did get the video, if I set it up on the security camera when I'm not even there, everybody would automatically believe it's AI.
Desert Oracle Radio.
Halfway through 20 and 26, Midsummer. I hope your year is going pretty well so far. And if not, I hope the second half is better for you. And on this midsummer eve in a secret grove near Athens, a fairy speaks. Over hill, over dale, through bush, through briar, over park, over pale, through flood, through fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's spear. And I serve the fairy queen to dew her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be. In their gold coats, spots you see, those be rubies, fairy favors. In those freckles live their saviors. I must go seek some dewdrops here and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou lob of spirits, I'll be gone. Our queen and all her elves come here anon. And that's from Will Shakespeare, of course, from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Over hill, over dale. I was reciting some lines by Shakespeare somewhere in context and conversation. And some guy looks up at me and says, I did not know Shakespeare was generally performed by Andrew Jackson. Oh, a wiseacre. But you know, the linguists say that Southern American speech, especially that preserved in the back hollers of Appalachia, is most like Shakespeare's English. And when you try to rhyme words like fire and where, that becomes very apparent. Fire, where. As in that old song from the Hee Haw Show. You ever hear that? Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? Speaking of that sort of accent, here's a little bit of verse from one of Sam Clemens' books, Warm Summer Sun by Mark Twain. Warm summer sun, shine kindly here. Warm southern wind, blow softly here. Green sod above, lie light. Good night, dear heart. Good night. Good night. In 1946, it was kind of the last days of a bohemian community living in the canyons around what is now Palm Springs. And these were real bohemians. These were artists, sculptors, and naturalists. It means naked people. And what else were they? Oh, there were some Buddhists, all the ists. And they lived in little shacks made of plywood and tar paper and such up in the canyon, Tonkwitz Canyon over Palm Springs. One of these guys had become famous in, was it Coldwater Canyon? In Los Angeles, I think, as one of this group of nudists, vegetarians, philosophers, meditation people, etc. And this guy is a very beautiful man, a big tall man with a long head of hair and a big long beard, and this was in the 30s and 40s, I believe. And he inspired the song that became a big hit for Nat King Cole called Nature Boy. And he was one of the guys who lived in the artist cabin community up around Palm Springs. Another was a pioneering desert biologist who was, I think, an assistant professor initially at the University of Riverside. And he was known for collecting groups of people to go out to have desert campouts. And they'd go investigate different places. He'd notice a place on a map or from an airplane or from driving around and say, let's go out there and see what's out there. So in 1946, this guy, whose name is Dr. Edmund Yeager, a name worth remembering because he has written the best books on desert animals and desert wildflowers. And he titled them very simply, Desert Animals and Desert Wildflowers. They're still in print. You can get them, last I checked, at the Joshua Tree Visitor Center. The University of Riverside Press continues to keep them in print and beautiful trade paperback editions. Any desert lover must have Edmund Yeager's books. The reason is because Yeager was not like professors who write books today, which is they write books based on other books. All the footnotes are other historians in their field. Yeager was a field historian. He was out there. So he's walking through, if you've been out into the Badlands, east of Palm Springs, of Indio, etc., you'll find that there are these narrow, winding canyons, sand on the bottom, and worn rock walls on the sides, not the big dramatic ones like in Utah, or in certain parts even of southern Nevada. But they're sort of out-of-the-way places that people didn't go too much because not a great place to live. 3/4 of the year, it's an oven. This was south of Desert Center, which is an exit on the I-10 if you're going to Arizona from Palm Springs. Right after you go by all the restaurant billboards that say, last chance to go to Chick-fil-A or whatever. Because then you're out in the real desert. And there's not much out there until you get to and across the Colorado River. Once you cross the Colorado River, there's a very interesting geological feature. Gas is $3 a gallon less. It's an interesting thing to be in Needles early in the morning on a work day. Everybody goes across the river, gets gas, and then comes back and drives by the gas stations nobody ever wants to stop at because it's $5 or $6 a gallon instead of $3.50 on the other side. Dr. Yeager and a bunch of his student helpers are walking through this canyon. Very low canyon. The walls are just kind of worn down rock. And there's little shelves of sorts, notches, niches, whatever you want to call them, in the walls of the canyon. And he walks up to one, and there's something, what appears to be a dead bird, smashed up against the rock. And it's windy, as it sometimes is in the desert all the time, so its little feathers are being blown around. It just looks like a terrible accident. He picks up the bird, looks at it. This bird's alive. When the students gather around, it doesn't look alive. No, it's alive. It is experiencing torpor, which was something that was unknown in birds until that moment in time. Now, sure, other people around the world throughout history have come across a bird that was experiencing torpor during the cold months, but there was no record of it, no writing. So he picks up this bird and he's like, well, look at this. This is a common nightjar. Anyone know what a nightjar is? Terrible name for a bird. A nightjar, sometimes called a nighthawk, is a nocturnal kind of stunted owl. It's a weird-looking little bird. Makes a terrible sound, too. I have one that hangs out on my porch light at home. And it makes kind of a sound. It's the kind of song that makes a raven sound musical, you know? Being a biologist, he has bird bands. He bands the bird on one of its feet and says, I'll be back. He comes back to see it a couple of weeks later. It's still there. It hasn't moved. It's like if you took a dead bird and threw it at a rock and it's stuck. It's the least safe or comforting place you could possibly choose for something like torpor, which is winter hibernation. And yet there it is. He goes back to work in Riverside, where he has written to a couple of biologist friends around the country and around the world. And one of them, I believe in Germany, where there were, Germany was known for excellent scientific instruments at the time. It still is, but it was kind of the world leader in such things. There's a package, and it's a bunch of bird thermometers. So a bird thermometer, well, it doesn't go down the beak, is what I'm saying. So he takes the bird thermometers, goes back to the canyon, just south of Desert Center, off today's Interstate 10. It's still there. He takes the night jar, inserts the thermometer. Yes, it's alive and only a couple of degrees cooler than a night jar in active good health. The first time a hibernating bird had ever been verified. He wrote up a paper. The paper was published by the Nature Conservancy California member journal. At that point, almost all scientists, biologists, a few hobbyists. And through that process, we learned that birds, like other animals, bears, what else hibernates? Well, that's summer. That's estivate, right? So they do the opposite. When it's too hot, they shut down. When it's too cold, other animals shut down. And what Dr. Yeager found is that these same night jars came back year after year to just sort of smack against the most uncomfortable little notch in the rock and spend 8-10 weeks there. It was miserable. If you were a very tall coyote, you could walk through these canyons and just pick them off like going through a buffet. But they weren't there. No one was there. So the night jars, which in good weather come to life, and they have very big mouths, and they hop around getting moths and other sort of insects that are out at night. That was their haven. So when you're walking around the desert, I don't mean the most popular trail in Joshua Tree or Zion or Yosemite or whatever, but even just off, a quarter mile, a half mile away, you can come across things that no one has ever seen. We learn of this again and again. I was looking at the European news the other day, and another child, this one in Norway, was on a nature trip with her parents, and she went into a little lake and noticed something under her foot and pulled it out. It was a Iron Age sword, more than 2,000 years old, pre-Viking. So there are secrets if you just wander around. Sometimes the secrets are natural, sometimes the secrets are things left by your fellow humans. I was walking in a section of preserved land a couple of years ago with my dog, and I came around a little bend in the trail. I was looking for one of those mylar balloons that I'd seen tangled up in a bush, and I was going to walk over there and get it. Don't mind the coyotes. They're only interested in rats, most of all. And I came across a 8 or 10 foot pentagram made of rocks on the ground where some witches, probably from Echo Park or something, were doing God knows what, going skyclad or something. And there it was, and I took a picture of it, and a bunch of nature people left angry comments on my Instagram. That's dumb, you should have torn it up. It's just rocks. It wasn't like it was, made of LED light strips or something. There's secrets, huh? I find secrets all the time. My dog finds secrets I don't want to know about. Sometimes I'm looking for more recent American verse about the mystical beauty of the American frontier, the western wilderness. And I remember that poetry and song have long been separate streams. So what I'm looking for doesn't show up on the poetry websites because it's mostly under copyright. As popular song, Hank Williams was known and celebrated as the hillbilly Shakespeare of his day. Merle Haggard was widely praised as the poet of the common man. And Bob Dylan wrote his Nobel Prize-winning poetry to the melodies of ancient troubadour styles from Europe and the British Isles and the mountain hollers, where the very oldest songs were preserved, and the amber of isolation. Thanks to Red, Blue, Black, Silver for our soundscapes tonight. Thanks to everybody who came to our springtime series of Desert Oracle campfire stories. That's the last of such standalone events. But as I mentioned a while back, there's a 2-day festival in Pioneer Town coming up, August 14th and 15th. The Pappy and Harriet's, Desert Willow Ranch, etc., plus stargazing, DJ sets, all kinds of electronic and ambient musical artists such as Tangerine Dream and Steve Roach. Showing of Welcome Space Brothers. And both nights, Desert Oracle, they've got us off in some little cowboy town on the side. It'll be fun. It's called Spacecraft, and the promoters have a website at Spacecraft Joshua Tree. 1- and 2-day tickets are on sale now. And you know, the best Civil War songs since Stephen Foster were done by 4 Canadians and an Arkansas hillbilly in a group called The Band. Team USA won their soccer game against whoever they were playing, and everybody started singing Take Me Home Country Roads, a song from 1971 that could have been from 1871. Thank you for listening tonight. A happy summer solstice to y'all. And good night from the voice of the desert.